What is up to all the good people of America and good people of this world? Matthew here. So, this video is made for people suffering from addiction. Addiction comes in many forms, you know what I mean? And believe me, I knew addiction very, very well for the overwhelming majority of my life. My father was like a 3 pot a day coffee drinker. And thank God I never got, you know what I mean? Maybe the most I've ever had is 1 cup of coffee a day. And even that, I don't drink coffee. Tea. I like tea. Anyway, um, yeah, 3 packs a day, smoker. And then my mom, you know what I mean? Drinker, you know what I mean? She wasn't a daily drinker, but 4 or 5 days a week, you know what I mean? 4 days a week, pretty much every week, week in, week out. Um, and when she would drink, she would smoke 3 packs of cigarettes. And I had my first beer and cigarette at 7 years old. I'd shared that in another video, and my mom came out of the shower because she was getting ready to go to the clubs. And that's, looking back, I was screaming for attention, you know what I mean? Because my mom was out at the clubs every weekend, and, she never got to live her life, you know what I mean? She met my father when she was 15. So she never got to have a childhood in her 20s, you know what I mean? Her teen years in her 20s, which is not healthy. You know what I mean? I do not recommend people. You got to learn who you are. You got to learn yourself first. You know what I mean? And I wish well, anyway, it's all stuff I learned in life. But yeah, so believe me, I knew addiction. You know what I mean? I was addicted to cigarettes by 12 years old. And then the only thing I could say between age 12 and 22, when I finally put myself on heroin, um, is alcohol. You know what I mean? I was never a daily drinker. I only drank like 1 day a weekend, or if I go down to Mexico, which was quite often, I drink 3 days straight, 4 days straight, and then on the way home, I would just sober up and go through the pain of, whatever, you know what I mean? I never did the hair of the dog thing. I only did that once in my entire life. And, yeah, and throughout my childhood, between age 15 and 22, you know what I mean? I experimented, with LSD and shrooms and, a little blow and meth. And, I don't mean like I did it daily, but like me and my friends tried it. You know what I mean? I'm just being honest. And that's what happens when you grow up surrounded by, you know what I mean? 1% bikers and cartel dudes and, street gangs and prison gangs, and you know what I mean? Like, it's all there. Your neighborhood's flooded with dope. It's flooded with dope, you know what I mean? And when you don't got no opportunity, hell, you're gonna start slanging that dope, you know what I mean? Jobs and decent paying jobs are few and far between in the neighborhood that I come from. Dope is abundant, and that is one thing that is all across America, believe me. Jobs are few and far between, but dope is abundant, and especially fentanyl, dude. Oh my God. It's disgusting. You know what I mean? Disgusting. Anyway, so, yeah, I mean, for me, like, see, I helped start, I wasn't the founder of it, but I was part of starting a 12-step program uh, back in '04 for my drug of choice. And what's up to, you know what I mean? You know which program I'm talking about. It's anonymous, but we were like family. We were like family. And I look back, oh my God, so many beautiful people. And when I was getting sober, I got myself sober in Phoenix, Arizona after 21 years of shooting heroin. I got sober. I still had about 5 pounds of heroin at the time. And I got sober while holding heroin and fentanyl. I had some fentanyl, but I had never done fentanyl at that point. And I bought it for the first time, and I'd never, anyway, so I wasn't selling it or nothing, but I bought, I think, like 1,000 pills or something, just to, because everybody was doing, people kept asking me, can you get the blues? Can you get the blues? And I was like, I didn't even know what they were talking about because I didn't mess with that. So I'd gotten like this 1,000 blue package just to see what they were. And actually, I ended up using those blues to wean myself for like 3 days. I sniffed the tiniest bit of those things just to wean myself off of the heroin. And it worked. I used, anyway, let me not go into all that. That's personal between, if, whatever. It's not stuff I should be put out there on the internet. But anyway, so I ended up getting 5 months sober all by myself, you know what I mean? And Okay, let me put that out there too. Everything I'm talking about is the past. I don't have any drugs in my possession. I don't commit felonies anymore. I don't even, you know what I mean? Like, I'd be lying if I say I don't run red lights sometimes, sitting there late at night. You know what I mean? Only an idiot would sit at a red light in the middle of the night. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not, yeah, a sheep. You know what I mean? So I'd be lying if I said I didn't do that. But that's about the extent of the crimes that I commit these days. Just common sense things. Like, the most precious gift I have is time. You know what I mean? I'm going to let the government just waste my time? No, no, no. You know, sometimes you got to color outside the box. But anyway, so I'm not going to go into everything that led up to me relapsing. Let's just say family and loved ones did everything they could to destroy me during that time period. You know, after losing my father, people used their power, their power at that time financially over me because I was in transition of transferring anyway. And they basically had me living like I was homeless, you know what I mean, back in New York, and turning the screws on me because they knew they had me. They got me into a corner and they knew it. And they were like, oh, I'm going to, you know what I mean? Whether they were conscious of it or not, what they were doing was, I'm going to break this person down. He's been doing wonderfully. I'm going to break him down and bring him back into the fold. Misery loves company. You know what I mean? Just being honest. That's exactly what happened. And it broke my heart. Like, oh my God, you're so pathological that you'll do anything to get me back into your misery. And I thank God that happened. But anyway, so I relapsed. Not overnight, but it happened because the pain. Anyway, so it didn't happen overnight. I started chipping and I relapsed. Long story short, I ended up getting horrifically addicted to those blue fentanyl oxys. I was buying 5,000 at a clip out of Phoenix, Arizona, coming up through Mexico, through the people that I worked with in the past, and through other, there was several people I worked with, and I would anyway. And I was buying them for personal use. You know what I mean? I would, traffic them back to New York just for my own personal use. And I sniffed 5,000 fentanyl pills in 6 months, maybe? Probably 6 months, you know what I mean? And then, yeah, just like, and oh my God, dude, 6 months I was bedridden. I was bedridden for 6 fucking months from that. And when I mean just 2 different times for a week straight, I hallucinated right in this room, hand to God. One of the hallucinations that lasted like, I don't even know, 2 days, 48 hours straight was right in this corner. You can't see it. But God and the devil were in that corner, physically wrestling with each other for my soul. I'm just telling you what happened. You know what I mean? You can believe it or not. It was a hallucination. You know what I mean? Was it real? I don't know. It was a hallucination. But that's exactly what I saw. And I was so scared, dude, to get up. Every nerve ending of my being was telling me, end your life. End your life. End your life. And I tried everything. I tried going to 12-step meetings to make a connection like we used to have in that program. And it just wasn't there. It just wasn't there. The people that I had met in that 12-step program that we started back in 2004, that beautiful family that I had, I couldn't find it again. I couldn't find it. And I had to do it. All of it. You know what I mean? 110% alone, dude. And on top of the drugs, like I said, I inherited a hoarder house that, you know what I mean, from a man that never paid child support, that never did anything but make my life exponentially harder. You know what I mean? Working against me. I won second place in the New York State writing competition for the entire state. Second place for New York State writing competition for the entire state in second grade while I was damn near illiterate. The teacher that worked with me, I wrote this story about my buddy who had died in a house fire on the next block. I just met the kid and we were getting to know each other, and he ended up burning up and dying. Or he actually made it out, but he died of smoke inhalation. Everybody else burnt up and died. He was the only survivor that made it out, but he died in the hospital. And he lived on the next block from me in North Belmore. This is like 84, I guess it was, something like that. Maybe 85, 84. And the teacher was like, Matthew, I'm going to keep you after class because you need to rewrite that story. And she sat there for 2 hours and she's like, Matthew, you don't grasp the English language. And I didn't say anything, but in my head, I'm like, I'm having guns to put to my head. Like, you think English is a priority in my household? I'm having guns put to my head. My mom's being beaten. Like, this is what I'm holding inside. You know what I mean? And I'm crying and she's telling me, Matthew, she's like kind of getting frustrated with me. You don't understand the English language. I'm like, in my head, like, nobody cares, dude. Nobody cares. Nobody fucking cares. You know what I mean? Nobody cares whether I could read or write or if I'm getting an education. Nobody cares. And, yeah, traumatizing. The things teachers used to do to me, dude. Like, just, you know what I mean? Sitting there with, like, the weight of the world on my shoulders. And then you just get these teachers that because they can't get through to you, they just start becoming mean and nasty and making you stand up in front of the class and embarrassing you. That was my childhood of just over and over. You know what I mean? And I shared, the one teacher locked me in the coat closet my kindergarten year for 80% of it. And I'm not saying like this as a victim. I'm saying this as I survived all that. I survived all that. You know what I mean? I could smile. I could feel love. I didn't become a psycho killer or, a serial killer or nothing like that. And I'm so grateful. I'm beyond grateful for that. You know what I mean? Because that type of trauma in life is what turns people. Believe me, I fought against it. You know what I mean? Not for innocent people. I don't mean like that. I'm talking about, yeah, the people that commit acts like that. The people that hurt children and the people that, you know what I mean? And, yeah, dude, I got through all of this. You know what I mean? Like I was praying, just nonstop, like, God, please put a friend in my life, a connection, a human connection with somebody, a friend, a woman, so, anything, you know what I mean? And I was going to get a dog, but I'm like, yo, this house that I inherited isn't even fit for a dog. I wouldn't put a dog through this shit. Hell no. When I get my place, I'm going to get the most beautiful dog from a puppy, and I'm going to raise him from the ground up, just like I did with Spanky. I'm going to teach him everything I taught Spanky, roll over, play dead. I used to point at Spanky like this and shoot him. He'd roll over and drop. Spanky was so smart, man. He was a yellow lab built like a pit bull, and he could jump up and catch Frisbees. Some gangbanger, some SA gangbanger at Lapadera Park. One night I'm playing with Spanky. I used to take him up there at like 11 p.m. midnight because nobody would be up there. And I see this silhouette and I could just tell from all the way across the park. I say, yo, that's an SA. He's a gangbanger. And my dog, Spanky, sees him and he knew. Like, he don't trust people. You know what I mean? He started running back towards me. And all of a sudden, this SA, I didn't see it, but in Phoenix, Arizona, I heard so much gun battle, gunfire and gun battles that I can literally, my ear is tuned to tell the caliber, and I can tell the difference between a 6-inch and a snub nose. Hand to God. And just for the sound of it, I could tell it was a snub nose 38. He fired 2 shots. The first one whizzed. I'm all the way across the park now. The first one literally right next to my left ear. I'm talking about inches, just right next to my left ear. And the second shot, my dog's running towards me. He didn't make a noise or nothing. And I'm motherfucker, I'm going to kill you, motherfucker. I'm fucking just raging. I'm like, motherfucker. And I throw Spanky in the car. Because, dude, I raised that dog from a pup. And, like, this piece of shit motherfucker just wanted to shoot something. He didn't even know I was there. He just saw the dog. He didn't even realize that he was shooting at me. And I didn't even care about myself. I was cared about my dog. That's what, you know what I mean? I get my dog. That was my mom's dog, but I raised her. So I take her back to my mom's house. I wasn't living there at the time, I don't think. And as soon as the dog got on the white tile of the kitchen, all of a sudden blood started pulling up from its rear end. And what had happened is the bullet had caught my dog right at the base of the tail, and his tail was hanging off. And I told my mom, I said, rush him to the vet. And I went and grabbed this 12-gauge shotgun and chased that motherfucker down. He lived, but believe me, yeah, he caught something to the back for real. Shoot my fucking dog, and I make no apologies for that. Fuck that motherfucker. You know what I mean? Fuck that motherfucker. You want to shoot a dog, you low-life piece of shit? You know what I mean? I'm sorry. I'm passionate about that. People that hurt animals, yo, you're depraved, bro. You're depraved, man. You know what I mean? Depraved. Like, check yourself. Women, anything innocent like that, yo, you got mad issues. And one warning. Anyway, so, wow. Spanky, I missed that. I'm going to put a picture up of Spanky. Yeah. Anyway, so, yeah, I was like, you know what I mean? This place that I'm living isn't even fit for a dog, dude. But I've endured it. And, like, now that I'm right here about to close on my house, within 2 weeks, I think we got less than 2 weeks to go now. I don't even count. I'm just focusing on, you know what I mean? Like, why am I making all these videos? because I'm just trying to get to my new home where I can buy my brand new bed, my new refrigerator, my stove, and I can build it out how I want. And I can build my office and my music studio and my media studio and start my next businesses and start the life that I've wanted before it. To finish that story about that, I won the New York State writing competition. I was second place. Within 2 weeks of that happening, my father said, "Matthew, stick out your hand." He stuck a 38 snub nose. That's a coincidence. That fucker shot my dog with a 38 snub nose, and my father stuck a 38 snub nose in my hand and dared me to pull the trigger twice, and I did. There ended up being blanks in it, but the second time that I pulled the trigger, so he had me pointed at the toilet in our house in Bergen Street on the first floor. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, what the fuck? This toilet's going to shatter. I said, this dude's lost his mind, man. This man has lost his mind. But I did it thinking I was going to shatter the toilet. But it was blanks in the gun. But after the second shot, my father was behind me. He said, "Matthew, you always put two behind the ear." That's what he said to me. You always put two behind the ear. And PTSD, he had lost his mind during that time period. Yeah. Or everything happens for a reason. You know what I mean? One way to, it is what it is. So, but yeah, now that I'm almost at the end, I realize making it through all of this 110% alone without a woman. You know what I mean? I had one woman. She was the wrong woman for me. You know what I mean? Trying to latch on to me. And I was like, I've been down that road before, sweetie. You're a good woman, but you're just not for me. You know what I mean? And yeah, you know what I mean? Getting through it, I got myself back. You know what I mean? I got myself back for the first time, like seriously. And I sorted out all my beliefs and morals and what I'm about and what I'm not about and what I'm, you know what I mean? Everything. I found myself for the first time, no confusion, knowing exactly what I'm about: honor, integrity, morals, character. You know what I mean? Understanding, compassion, decency. But if you push me, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. You know what I mean? Because like Kevin Gates said, if you push me too far, I will turn you into something that you can't even comprehend. You understand? And I don't want to do that. I mean that on God. When I say if I never had to hurt another human being as long as I live, I would die a happy man. And hopefully that's the way things go. Hopefully that's the way things go. You know what I mean? Because it weighs heavy on the soul for sure. You know what I mean? But whatever I've done, I had, believe me, reasons on top of reasons for anything I ever done. And I have been forgiven for sure for all, my transgressions. And to anybody along the way that I allowed my pain and hurt and suffering to bleed into your life, that I possibly, that I hurt you. And I know there's, a couple people in my head, a few people that I can think of that, it wasn't intentional. I'll give you my word on God on that. Whatever, it wasn't intentional. So, yeah, to anybody suffering from addiction, man, you got to fight, man. You got to fight. You got to do whatever you can. You got to do a DMT trip to, if you got PTSD and you don't just do it, but I'm just saying that's what worked for me. And you got to fight, dude. You got to fight for yourself and get through it. And it's like, I ridded myself cold turkey of cigarettes. I mastered it. I mastered all of it. Quitting cigarettes. I could get myself addicted to cigarettes and just boom, I'm done. That's it. I can get myself addicted to heroin. Boom, I'm done. I got myself addicted to 5 times. I kicked fentanyl cold turkey 5 times. This is the 5th time now. I'm on like day 46, 47. And yeah. I mastered it, dude. Being able to hold fentanyl in my hand, 3 feet away. I say my hand, but I mean 3 feet away. Actually, I did have it in my hand because I picked it up. If you know what I mean, holding the cigarette, like mastered it, and it's over. It's over, dude. Like I am back to the exact place I was before my father died. When I was eating healthy, when I was looking forward to life and my new life, everything. You know what I mean? I was at that point. I was like, it's finally over. I'm finally gonna get. You know what I mean? I was gonna build out. Actually, no. I started the contracting company on the day my father died. And I had to, I'm not, I'm going to hook other people up, you know what I mean? And help them start contracting companies. But I'm done contracting. I'm getting into the music industry and I'm getting into filmmaker, dude. Filmmaker. That's what I want to do since I was a kid. And believe me, I'm going to, God willing, whatever. So, to anybody suffering from addiction, I am praying for y'all. I am praying. Love y'all. Peace.